Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation on APA references and in-text citations. This is an area that I have noticed that quite a few of you struggle with, so I wanted to offer a few pieces of advice and helpful hints. So, one of the most common types of citations or references you'll need to do is a journal. As you guys know, many of your assignments ask you to look up journals on either the American Journal of OT or OT Practice Magazine. So, with a journal, you want to use the author's last name, their initials, the year, and the year goes in parentheses, the title of the article, the name of the journal, and then the volume number, the issue number, the page numbers, and your DOI or URL address. So as you can see here, there's an example. Obviously, this isn't a real journal. This is just made up to show you what goes where. But you see the title, or excuse me, the author there. That's my last name, my first two initials separated by periods. Then the year in parentheses followed by a period. Then the title of the journal article itself, notice that is not italicized. Then the next thing you see is Writing Journal for Healthcare. That is the journal and it is italicized, as well as that volume number. Then your issue number is in parentheses and is not italicized. Your page numbers are there, but they do not have the typical P in front of it, and then followed by the DOI or URL address. Now, if there are multiple authors, you list them just like I have here with a comma separating each one. And then for between the next to last author and the last author, you'll use the ampersand sign or the and sign to separate those last two. Now, another type of reference you may use often is textbooks. So I want to point out that there is a change to how to cite or reference textbooks from what is listed on our St. Catherine's modules. So on those modules, you'll see that the city and state is listed before the publisher. That is no longer required per APA 7th edition. So for a textbook, according to the new edition of APA, you would use the author's last name and their initials. If it's multiple authors, you do the same thing as you did with the journal. Then you have the year, the title of the book. That title of the book is going to be italicized. And then an edition, if applicable, and then the publisher. So notice there is not a spot there for a city and state prior to the publisher. So as part of watching this video, I have purposefully made a mistake on the example on this slide. I would like each of you to send me an email once you've watched this video and tell me what mistake I made on the example placed on this slide. Another commonly used type of reference is a PowerPoint presentation. As you guys know, we have plenty of those in this course for you to reference. So I wanted to make sure you knew how to do those as well. So with those, you use your presenter last name and first initial. Now I want you to take note that for the majority of the presentations in your courses for St. Catherine University is going to be the presenter or the author. Then you're going to put your date in parentheses, just like you do the others. Your title of the presentation will be italicized. And then where it says format, you're going to put that, that will be like PowerPoint, or if it's like a Prezi presentation, depending on what format is used. And then you'll follow that by the URL address where you obtained the PowerPoint. Some of you may also want to use a YouTube video in some of your references, so I wanted to go over that as well. So with a YouTube video, you're going to start with the author and the uploader, do it the same way, last name, first initial. And then you're going to follow that. The difference with the date here is that you're going to use the year, then the month, then the day. Then your title of your work is going to be italicized, followed by the word video, and then YouTube, and then your URL for the YouTube video. Now, one of the other things I wanted to go over is in-text citations. So there are two types of citations that you can use. There's a narrative citation or a parenthetical citation. For your narrative citation, that's going to be according to Johnson, parentheses 2019. Now, your parenthetical documentation or citation is going to be Johnson, comma, 2019 inside parentheses. Now, if you use a quote with your narrative citation, you're still going to say, according to Johnson 2019, then you're going to put your quote, and at the end of the quote, you're going to do in parentheses the page or paragraph or section number that you obtained the information. Then with parenthetical citations, when you do a quote, you're going to do the author's last name, the year, and the page number all inside the parentheses. Now, as you guys know, the majority of your grading rubrics include a requirement of including course content in the assignment. Now, there will be certain assignments that specify which resources to use, but if that is not specified, you should use any resources that are applicable to the assignment to validate your point and to show understanding of the concepts. So, another thing that I'm sure you guys have heard not only from me, but from possibly other instructors, is that you need to be using the common language for OT practitioners, which is obtained from your OT practice framework. That is why that is such a valuable resource. So, in the OT practice framework, there are tables towards the end of the document. And I've pointed out a few tables here that I think that you should become familiar with and you should look at when you're doing case studies or doing other things where you're involving OT practice framework language. So there's table 2 for occupations, and the page numbers are listed for each one of these tables. Table 4 talks about environmental factors, table 5 personal factors, table 6 performance patterns, table 7 performance skills. Table 9, you're going to see information on client factors. Table 11, occupational and activity demands. Table 12, types of OT intervention. Table 13, approaches to intervention. And Table 14, outcomes. So when you guys are doing a case study, for example, and you're talking about some of the deficit areas or areas of strength that that particular case study is dealing with, this would be good information for you to utilize the verbiage in your assignment. I also wanted to just take a moment to offer you guys or remind you guys of some additional resources that are offered by the university to assist you with your writing. So these resources are discussed in your course syllabus. The two main ones I'd like for you to take notice of are the Grammarly and the Thinking Storm. So if you look in the course syllabus, it'll tell you how to access that. If you have any questions about that or concerns about accessing those resources, please feel free to reach out and let me know, and I'll help in any way that I can. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. You'll see my email address below, hejohnson258@stkate.edu. Thank you guys so much. I hope this presentation helped.